What a fantastic afternoon it is set to be as the sun shines over one of America's oldest racetracks. This facility, once a private horse racing track since at least 1876, it has been hosting race cars, though, for over 100 years. Its first automobile race was held in 1903 on a dirt surface. Today, it continues to play host to races like the IndyCar Series in the real world, and of course, in the stock car racing scene on iRacing, it has been making quite the resurgence as drivers have been really taking a shine to this little 1 mile racetrack. Welcome to Green Flag TV and to race number 6 of the Boat Racing League Lightning Series. My name is I'll bring you all the racing action from start to finish of round number 6 here this afternoon. Of course, the Milwaukee Mile here in Wisconsin at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. It's a track steeped in plenty of racing history. Plenty of incredible moments have been had here, both in the sim and in the real world. And today, it is looking to be absolutely no different. The weather for today looking much more ideal than it normally is. 69 degrees Fahrenheit out on the racetrack. A bit of a breeze in the air, 8 miles an hour, and 103 degrees down on the racetrack. Still a hot surface, but not the 120s that we've been seeing over the last few weeks, and hopefully this could lead to some better racing here this afternoon. Of course, the big talk going into today, new rules going into effect, as of course the league implementing a brand new incident limit system. No longer will you be penalized with drive-thrus for incident points. Instead, it is a full-on disqualification once you hit 17 this afternoon. That is, of course, in an effort to attempt to curb some of the caution-heavy races that we've been having to kick off the season, especially in races 2, 4, and 5. So a lot of drivers, no doubt, going to be caught out by that a bit over the course of the afternoon. Will it be a detriment, though, to the racing as a whole? Well, only one way to find out, and that is by going full bore into racing action here this afternoon. Austin Johnson took his second win of the season and went back-to-back last week at the Homestead Miami Speedway. He looks to try and go 3 for 3. He right now is qualified third on the order, so he could very well do it as he tries to pull off the hat trick. So far, 5 different winners over the course of the season. Will we get another repeat winner, or will we be getting ourselves with a 6th unique winner in only 6 races? We'll find out in just a moment here as the qualifying session going to draw to a close. And well, with that, we're going to get ourselves a rundown of what the starting grid looks like as we are set to duke it out for 140 laps. Starting on pole position this afternoon is going to be Elena Pelletier-Shard, the Ace Sim Sports number 71, back on top of the qualifying sheets alongside PBR Racing's Pacey Wygen. From there, moving on back into row number 2, it's going to be Austin Johnson, winner from Chicago and at Homestead, trying to take one more here in Wisconsin. Nick Miller starts beside him with the Busch Light number 1, starting in 4th. Row 3 on the racetrack holds Martin Roberg. Roberg, of course, the victim of a premeditated incident courtesy of Peyton Snyder last week in the final lap of the Homestead race. He is back and ready for more in the number 60 alongside Sam Dooley for 4 and Fuel Racing. Row 4 then holds Jimmy Munch, making his first start of the season to the Ayers Design number 94 alongside the number 17 of Rodney Ayers for PBR Racing. Top 10 then closed out by Elaine Myers and Scott McCann. The PPG number 12 starting alongside the Coors Light number 28. Top half of the field is closed out by John Matthews in the 213 Simware.com number 98 alongside the Busch Light number 88 of Blaine Snyder, who starts the second half of the field. From there, 13th place is Casey Ellis alongside Wesley Riddle. 15th and 16th is going to have Dominic Capolupo alongside Tristan Baer. 17th and 18th, it'll be George Chiampoulos and Wesley Triplett, with the top 20 headed up by Alex Ricky and Chris Chiampoulos. Back to the field then. It's Lily Frazier and Troy Washburn, both drivers not putting down qualifying laps this afternoon. So the grid is set. All 22 cars have taken to the starting grid, and they're all going to work their way around this racetrack as we get set to see what's in store for the field here this afternoon. We will tag on one extra pace lap, just give the back runners in the field here some time to close close on up here with the field. I like it. Give these guys a little bit of extra time to work with each other here as, well, plenty of folks out here ready and eager to get this race underway. Let's take a look at some of the helmets. They're going to look to duke it out over the next 140 laps with Frazier, Johnson, and John Matthews. Down to the turn numbers 1 and 2 for what should be the final time. Lights are out aboard the iRacing pace car. Should be a good outing here this afternoon. Hedge your bets. Who's going to take the win in this one? The Milwaukee Mile, a track known for the cautions, precautions mentality that can be flared up at places like this, particularly leagues like Speed, Ole Miss Rail, both leagues that have had problems here in the past. But the field, meanwhile, going to work their way into turn numbers 3 and 4. And it's time to get the party started. The iRacing pace car will make its sharp left-hand turn down and into pit road. And with that, round number 6 is underway here in Wisconsin.
Racing is
trouble in turn 4 as Tristan Bayer going around, and that will quickly bring up yellow flag number 1. And boy, isn't it ironic? Tristan Bayer was kind of making some light of being spotted in a few unsavory incidents last week. You can't see me plastered all over the car, but we see you, buddy. We see you bright and clear as you bring out caution flag number 1. Jumping back and take a look, find out what happened to Tristan Bayer in the 05. Chris Chiampoulos with the meatball flag as well, so I'm willing to bet there was more than one car caught up in this. As there is Tristan Bayer. Oh, just lost the back end by himself on cold tires. Slid up the racetrack, goes hard into the outside wall, right into the path of Chris Chiampoulos, who had nowhere to go. Hard impact, and again, I'm willing to bet you right on board with Chiampoulos here. He is not going to know what hit him. See the car stepping out. He tried, but just not a whole lot you can do in that situation. So yellow flag number 1 on the afternoon. Perhaps no surprises on that one as Troy Washburn with a black flag as he comes down to pit road. Interesting for him. I do not believe he is in the race car anymore. What the heck happened to you? Huh. I mean, it looked like he got down to pit road speed on time. He is going to get back out. Is he going to beat the pace car out? He may have, and I think he did. He's going to be able to keep the lead lap as the field goes 1 to go. Pace car is going to make that dive at pit road this time by, and we'll try it again to get a lap in here for the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. Elena Pelletier-Sharp continues to lead the way from Pacey Wodgen into the restart zone. Green flag is back into the air. as we hightail into turn 1. So the field taking off down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Sharp leads way to the end of lap number 1. Frazier giving a tip into turn 1. She's going to go for a slide. Gathers it up. No caution. We'll keep it green. Bit of a door-to-door check, though. As Sharp continues to pull clear out of turn number 4. Austin Johnson running the thermal number 20. Currently down 1. He started up in 3rd and is trying to fight his way back to his outside is Martin Roberg, as Roberg trying to open up some speed the long way around, gets the door slammed shut on him by Roberg. So Johnson going to keep the defense up. Roberg going to keep the pressure up. The problem is he's also got drivers like Rodney Ayers from behind who are trying to make moves as well, and that's not making this any easier for the 17. Further down the field, Casey Ellis slipping wide in turn 1. And could look to give up the spot to Alex Rickey as well as John Matthews. Up front, Austin Johnson continuing to fight it out. Martin Roberg tries it, and man, the offensive move hasn't really worked for him, and he's got Rodney Ayers breathing down his neck. Jimmy Mulch just in the background, trying to make moves as well. There goes Roberg to the inside. Kind of being squeezed in by the number 20 of Austin Johnson. And Roberg is through. So Roberg jumps up to 4th. Johnson now back to 5th. And Rodney Ayers looking like he wants to open up the door to the inside. Trying to drive her in deep. Is he going to put the bumper to him? Not this time, at least. Downshifting all the way back into 3rd gear. Trying to carry as much throttle off speed as he can. And again, getting real close to the tail, but just not able to get down the inside on corner exit. Elsewhere, drivers are making moves as Blaine Snyder's just exchanged a spot with Scott McCann behind him. Blaine Myers looking to attack Wesley Riddle. Trouble up in turn 4. Caution comes out as Sam Dooley is sent sideways. So Budweiser number 22 brings out caution number 2 of the afternoon. Lily Frazier lunging for the inside. Was there contact? Oh, sure was. Dooley shut the door. Frazier had a very late lunge. That's going to send the 22 up and into the outside wall. That's one of those, the door was always in a close type of situations. He's been looking to dime it off that corner for a good while now. This is what Lily Frazier saw. I mean, it's just such a late move. I think it would have been wiser to back out more than anything. A few cars coming down to pit road. Austin Johnson is in. Blaine Snyder is in. And so is everyone else from behind. So the reason why this is interesting to me is because the stage is ending in under 10 laps. The stage comes to a close at the end of lap number 25, so the fact that Austin Johnson has been willing to give up track position this early on to take fresh tires, I don't know, it's surprising to me. I would have wanted to stay up here, just make it work for the next 10 laps, and then come down to pit road at the next caution flight that you know is coming in a few laps anyway. The field work their way into turn numbers 3 and 4. It'll be a 9-lap sprint to close out the second stage of the night. Sharp continues to lead the way. Still got 21 of 22 circulated the racetrack. Green flag is up in the air. Good getaway from the 71. Wygen and Miller will have to battle it out for second. Pacey Watch trying to go around the long way. Roberg set real deep into turn number 3 by Rodney Ayers. And well, Sharp still leads, but for how long? Is Nick Miller desperate enough for points to put the bumper to the 71 if he can't find a way through? Pacey Wygen taking advantage of a slip up mid-corner from Miller as Miller overshoots the inside. And now Sharp's able to just drive away as they fight for second. Contact door to door as Miller pinched in Wygen. Miller's still fighting up high, but this is again allowing Sharp to pull a 7/10 of a second gap with only 6 laps to go in the opening bell. Ayers continuing to pull from the inside. Now the Wygen's gotten clear, looking to fight it out with Nick Miller. Single file throughout the top 10, which are, of course, the ones that gain up spots. As I say that, for 6th, Jimmy Monch passed Wesley Riddle as Riddle makes a mistake in 3. Trying to capitalize back, but he's got Blaine Snyder hunting the tail end of him. Now Blaine Snyder gonna look low. Snyder on offensive into turn 3. And gets clear off of 4, but he's gonna catch the wall. And the battle for the final spot offering points. Austin Johnson, Scott McCann running 9th and 10th. Lane Myers behind in 11th. Johnson, remember, is on fresh tires. Scott McCann looking for the inside on Austin Johnson. Oh boy, and a bit of contact there. Johnson slips up as he squeezed Scott McCann in. Just like Lily Frazier earlier, McCann had got the nose in real late. But this time we don't have a car into the outside wall. Now we got to fight for the lead. Elena Pelletier-Sharp under heavy fire from Pacey Weidgen with 2 to go in the stage. Makes the look, makes the dive. Pacey Weidgen going for number 1. One lap to go. Can Pelletier-Sharp fight back up high? Pacey Weidgen's gonna clear. Does Elena Pelletier-Sharp put the back bumper to him in 3? She's got one chance. Makes the sand. Oh, she's hit from behind. Nick Miller gives her the bumper. And Pacey Weidgen off of turn 4. Weidgen wins the stage. Sharp in 2nd. Miller 3rd. Ayers 4th. Roberg, Snyder, Munch, Riddle, Johnson, and McCann close out the top 10. A fantastic fight, though, to close out the opening stage. So Weidgen will pick up the win in this one. And we'll look to give a chit chat here to the driver of the 00, assuming what happens around here on pit road. Boy, what a fight, though, to close out the opening stage. A fantastic battle. The second stage going to be drawn to a close right at the halfway point. Lap 70 will be where stage 2 will draw to its next mandatory break. And everybody is in. Oh, Roberg missed his box! Roberg missed his box, and he's going to have to go all the way back around. He was not the only one either, as Alex Ricky has done the same. Blaine Snyder, Austin Johnson taking 2. Weidgen takes 4. We'll get the chance to talk to the driver that comes home number 1 in the opening stage. Pacey, what a fight there with you and Elena Pelletier-Sharp making the pass with 1 lap to go. Was it ever concerned that she'd be putting the bumper to you in 3?
Yeah, it's Lily. She's always a concern putting the bumper to you. She's just really aggressive, but no, she ran me really clean there, and honestly, really proud of her for it.
Overall, an intense opening stage in this one, a handful of cautions to boot. How do you reckon stage 2 is going to go here with a bit more time that they get up to speed?
Seems like we've been having a little bit better luck, knock on wood, this week for green flag racing. So I think we're gonna have a long green flag run here, and we're gonna see what this car does in the long run.
Well, looking like it'll be a 4th place start for you, as it'll be down on the inside line. We wish you the best of luck on the restart here.
All right, thank you.
Pacey Weidgen, winner in stage number 1 for PBR Racing. Some drivers being sent to the tail with EOL penalties to serve. fact, the driver sent back Tristan Bayer, 21 laps down, but still out here, still racing. He got put into the wall for caution flag number 1 on the afternoon. Stage 2 coming at you in short order. Green flag is back into the air. Wesley Triplett clears into turn 1. Blaine Snyder looking to do the same. Triplett, of course, the lone driver that didn't pit under the stage 1 bell. Snyder and Johnson on 2 tires, everyone else on 4. And it's a madhouse down to the turn number 3. Oh my goodness, and a big crash with one upside down. Rodney Ayers on his lip, barrel rolling down the front straightaway, and a massive crash to kick off stage number 2. Violent impact there for Ayers as he got punted up and into the air and over. Just a bit of contact, and wow, what a wild ride for the 17. Rebounded back into the 23 of Wesley Riddle. 14 of Chiampoulos involved. And well, that all started with Sharp coming down on the 12 of Scott McCann. Jeez Louise! That is a tremendous ride. Slid for a long time up on his roof before coming to rest. Watch, the 17 gets clipped right there. Gets flung up onto his side and back end first into the wall, then pirouettes on his roof. He bounces off of Riddle. There goes Chiampoulos into the outside wall. Tristan Bayer with yet more damage. That is unbelievable. Still a long way to go. And of all the tracks I expected to see a flip, this was not one of them. Reflying back into the air, this time by. And we'll try her again. The field working around for turn numbers 1 and 2. Blaine Snyder, Pacey Wygant, Nick Miller, Austin Johnson, Wesley Triplett. All in a blanket, looking to be single file all the way back. Wygant seeking to go at it for the lead of the race. There's the look down the inside at turn 1. Blaine Snyder overshoots. Pacey Wygant going to go for the look. Not able to secure it. Blaine Snyder retains. Oh, a big slide behind. Austin Johnson is spun. Gonna collect Lily Frazier. Frazier goes around. And now the 28 around as well. The 23 hard into the inside wall. And another multi-car pile up on the front stretch. Johnson kicks the tail end out. And Lily Frazier just finished the job. And then while Johnson is spinning to the inside, Frazier goes up and catches the 74. A big impact from the 98 as well is going to have a lot of damage from that. And then around, going to go the 28 of Lane Myers, along with Wesley Riddle going into the inside wall. And Roberg just able to pick through the pieces. Man, a wild handful of laps there right on board with Martin Roberg here. And what he saw. Now there's one. He sees 2 and 3. All of a sudden, hello, here's 4. And just able to slowly pick his way through. Few drivers making stops in a pit road looking to get some damages repaired, including your former pole sitter, Elena Pelletier-Sharp. Steiner picks the inside for the restart. And everyone making some adjustments just behind. And we'll restart for lap 40. Green flag set to come out on lap number 40. Still have 31 laps to go in stage 2. And we are already working caution number 6. Green flag is back into the air. Blaine Snyder taking off towards turn 1. Already Nick Miller making a move 3 wide to the inside for the lead into turn 1. And the Busch Light Camaro is through to the point. Blaine Snyder looking to pick up third behind. Oh, a late block! Can't do that! Nick Miller shutting the door on Blaine Snyder, driving out of the rearview mirror as he tries to keep Blaine behind him. Oh, and into the outside wall, gonna go Alex Ricky. They're able to recover it, but Roberg is in hot, and that's gonna push Ricky wide. Blaine Snyder looking to drive her in deep. Trying to fight around Nick Miller for the top spot, but it's not an easy battle that Miller's putting up. And Nick Miller's just made it very apparent they are willing to throw a haymaker of a block if it means keeping you behind him. Fastest lap of the race so far, reset by Nick Miller that last time by a 29.474. While the fight for the lead is escalating, Jimmy Monch going to go up into 5th. As plenty of fights remain all throughout the midfield, all the way back. For 2nd, Pacey Wygant trying to establish some momentum down low. Few laps on board with Pacey Wygant as he tries to open up the door on Blaine Snyder, but Blaine is maintaining some solid pace, running in the number 2 spot. Down to just 0.2 of a second. And again, Blaine Snyder opening up the door down to the inside. Can Pacey Wygant get through? No. But potentially now with more of an overlap in a turn 1, he's got a chance. Wygant finally breaks through. Well, that fight has put Nick Miller with a half-second gap, and now Wygant's got a lot of work to run him down. For the back, Scott McCann and Lane Myers going at it side by side as McCann is on the backslide. Lily Frazier thinking about opening up the door on the 28 of Lane Myers. Lane is so good on corner entry, but Frazier able to close so much throughout the mid-corner. While Sam Dooley seeks for the inside on Casey Ellis. Lily Frazier trying to open up the door on Lane Myers as Myers, well, lets one through and uses that attack to go down the inside of Alex Rickey. So Frazier gets 2 for 2. And Lane Myers seeking to regain lost ground now that Alex Rickey is in his sights. Scott McCann and Alex Ricky also looking to still fight it out side by side, as Ricky going to go around the top, and the PBG number 12 Mustang finally stops the bleeding around 9th place. He's going to have quite the fight ahead of him as he looks to cling on for whatever stage points are still on offer. George Chiampoulos dropping down a few positions. He'll slip back to 18th. Meanwhile, Pacey Wygen starting to open up the door on Nick Miller. And could Miller find himself under threat for the lead of the race? He sure will. This has been a fight that's been brewing for the last little while. Pacey Wygen's been closing more and more. He was over a 10th and a half quicker the last time by. Nick Miller and Pacey Wygen will continue to fight it out, and Wygen looking for the bumper. It's one of the few places or ways he can really overtake is by using the chrome horn once you get a little bit deeper into the run. He doesn't want to. He's not a driver that we see typically using the chrome horn, but he has shown he is not one to shy away from it if the situation calls for it. Now, Wygen, he's going to try to get through as clean as he can. And now starting to slip back. He may have lost his chance. So Lily Frazier and Dominic Campalupo now in a fight of their own, and the fact Campalupo opening up the door a little bit for Frazier. He's going to swing wide. Frazier still maintaining the run down low. And going to end up braking early into turn number 1. So Frazier's able to pick off another spot. Lily Frazier's showing she's got quite a bit of long run pace once we actually do get a good green flag running. Pacey Wygen, try as he may, has been unable to run down Nick Miller. He's got 10 more laps to do so as we look to put stage 1 behind us. Stage 2 behind us, sorry. Stage 1, of course, ended on lap 25. And this one's set for the tail end of lap 70. Longest run we've had so far. Wesley Triplin and Wesley Riddle. Coming down to the turn number 1. Triplin and Riddle gonna look to get a little bit close before they can go side by side. One fight that is double file. Blaine Myers and Sam Dooley. A 10th of a second between them as Myers pulling clear of the number 22 car down to the inside at 3 and 4. Good effort there from Lane Myers, finally getting some of that pace back. Sam Dooley with the crossover though as Myers slips wide. So Lane Myers continuing to pull things off here with Sam Dooley just up the road. Now behind Wesley Tribble and Wesley Riddle. Finally have gotten close enough that they can initiate a side-by-side engagement. So Wychen and Snyder dropping off from Nick Miller. They were up to about 0.2 of a second, and now pulling back to outside of 1.1. Nick Miller's pace really coming into shine here with 4 laps to go in stage 2. Behind them, Alex Ricky and Scott McCann battling for 10th. Ricky ready to make this happen. And a caution is going to come out with just 3 laps to go. Pelletier Sharp is into the wall. Tristan Bayer looking like he was caught up as well. And that'll put an end to stage number 2. And Nick Miller will be declared the winner. Bayer looking for the inside on Sharp. Now remember, Tristan Bayer several laps down. Oh man, just a big send into turn 3. Sends Sharp up and catches the outside wall. One car comes down to pit road, and it's going to take everyone in. Obviously, this being the end of the second stage. Expecting everybody here to take 4 tires and fuel. We'll be back with more in a moment on Green Flag TV. You won't miss a moment. We'll go side by side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. We are entering the second half of racing action here this afternoon. Nick Miller holding the race lead, and it's just been shown that if no one can get around him early, he can very much run away with this thing, especially if this stage goes long. No more breaks from here to the end if we go caution-free. Nick Miller leading the way out of turn numbers 3 and 4. Pace car is off. And the green flag is back out. Nick Miller immediately putting the block on Pacey Wide, and Wide does not have it, though, trying to go around the long way of 3 and 4. Hard task to do, but it's been done before. Oh, Rober kicking the tail and out in the background. Pacey looking high, sells in the dummy, looks low. Oh, he's going to lose it! No! Pacey Wide spins into turn number 1. He's able to gather it up behind. Sam Dooley's going to have to do the same, but he's going to get into the outside wall. Sam Dooley missing the front clip on his machine. And boy, that would have been a great fake if only he hadn't overshot himself. Oh boy. What in the world happened to Sam Dooley? Take a look back here. This is coming down towards turn 1. Oh my goodness, just mirror drives. Frazier got punted into turn 1 and actually ripped the front bumper off on that little piece of concrete that juts out from pit road. So he is now into the box to get the damage repaired. Blaine Snyder now runs to the back of Nick Miller, trying to see if he can get around the driver of the number 1. It's a tall order, but it is a doable one. If you're going to make the move, though, you got to make it early in the run. Just behind them, Scott McCann and Alex Rickey. Gonna look to battle it out here as they fight for 9th and 10th. All the while, Blaine Snyder still trying to fight away around Nick Miller up the road. Quarter second now between him and the number 1. Try as he may, though, Blaine Snyder is not an easy, Nick Miller, not an easy driver to get around. He has made that very clear that he is going to fight for every single square inch of racetrack. So down in the turns 3 and 4, while the front 2 are starting to separate. Jimmy Mensch still retaining third place from Lily Frazier. And Frazier has shown no signs of wanting to back down. She's been elbows up today, and I'm not expecting that to change. Jimmy Mensch looking to fight it out with Lily Frazier. Martin Roberg and Pacey Wygant still fighting it out as well. Now up front, Nick Miller opening up the door. Blaine Snyder trying to go around the long way. Miller again pulling the defensive groove. As Snyder cuts from top to bottom, trying to make the lunge. And the caution is going to come out, giving Nick Miller much needed reprieve. Chapalupo, Bayer, Washburn, all looking like they may have been involved in this one. This happened around turn 2, it looks like. It's the 74 of Wesley Triplets just up the road. What happened to Troy Washburn here? He's going to step the back end out, but that all looks fine. Oh, no, but it's not. He got loose. Wiggled around, caught Tristan Bayer, went into the outside wall. And that is what brings out the caution again. That's a weird one. Oh boy, I mean, talk about being all over the racetrack, and Bayer able to just gather her up. Pacey Wygant's actually going to pick up the lead of this race as well, because pretty much everyone has come down pit road under this yellow flag. He is the only driver on the lead lap that has opted to stay out, as a matter of fact. So Miller dropping all the way back to 4th. Blaine Snyder, Lily Frazier out on 2 fresh tires of both of them. Pacey Wygant on 15-lap old tires in general. Well, we'll double them up. 55 laps to go. Pacey Wygant jumps on the loud pedal. We are back to green. 55 laps still on the boards as Jimmy Mensch trying to go around the long way of Lily Frazier. Pacey Wygant retaining the top spot, but Blaine Snyder looking to make quick work of him. No defense from the 00 into turn 3, or at least not initially. One car slides. I think that was Austin Johnson throwing some smoke up. Snyder is through, and Lily Frazier trying to follow through as well. 3 wide into turn 1. Lily Frazier down the inside of Nick Miller. The 94, Jimmy Bench trying to fight up top. Frazier on only 2 tires while Nick Miller's on 4. And again, Frazier the inside. Is the Busch Light number 1 going to be caught in trouble here? Not quite. And there it is! Nick Miller got impatient. He's going to take out Pacey Wygant. The 00 spins around in turn 2. Caution comes out. And boy, that was an accident brewing for a while there. Nick Miller. Well, that patience finally wore too thin. Miller was looking, watching covered. And eventually, right about there, gives him the bump. That's all she wrote. Just never managed to pull the car up as he slid up towards the outside wall in turn 2 and brought it to a stop. Did manage to keep it off the outside wall. Good job for him on that one. This is on board Nick Miller. Out he goes. Again, though, a great job on the field. That cannot be understated enough. A good job on the field for managing to get around that. Blaine Snyder now holds the lead of the race. Nick Miller looking to fight him back. Now, with how hard Nick Miller blocked Blaine Snyder earlier in this race, I would not be surprised if we saw some equal aggression being shown from the 88. Oh, a fake there. Blaine went high, then cut down low at the last second. Opting for the inside lane on this one. Playing some games. Nick Miller, he is going to take the outside, so he'll start right alongside him. Green flag back into the air, 48 laps the distance. Can Nick Miller drive around Blaine Snyder? Blaine immediately covers off any run he may have had in the turn 1. Miller's going to have quite the fight ahead of them. One car to the outside wall off of turn 2. Miller looking low. He's already moved one tonight. And we got trouble up in turn 2 as Casey Ellis and Martin Roberg have both gone for some brief slides. We'll look at what happened there in just a moment. But right now, Nick Miller hunting to get around Blaine Snyder for the lead. Looks to the inside. Oh, and for the second time, he's going to take someone out. Blaine Snyder, can he pull it up? He does. He saves it. But Nick Miller goes for the lunge. And I'd imagine quickly looking to rack up enemies. This here, what happened down to the turn 3 about a lap ago. Lane Myers down the inside of Roberg, clipped him. Sent him up the racetrack and up into the outside wall. And Casey Ellis had something similar. Then this was how Nick Miller made the move on Blaine Snyder. Coming down the back straightaway. It's not really there. Makes a very late dive, and I mean, by the time he's there, I mean, you're kind of pushing the issue a bit. No caution this time, but I'd be a bit careful if I was that number 1 car, especially since you got Lily Frazier, driver that's been aggressive in her own right all night tonight, right behind him. One car slowing on the racetrack. That is Lane Myers coming to pit road. So trouble befalls the driver, the number 28. Meanwhile, Frazier and Miller, a tenth between them. Lily Frazier on only on 2 tires, though she got those tires on the same lap that Miller's got her 4. So Miller, Frazier remain 1 and 2, but looking like Nick Miller's starting to pull away. Battle for third is also close as Blaine Snyder tries to get back to Austin Johnson. All things considered, he was able to pull it up quite well for Blaine. He only dropped back to 4th as a result of the bump and run, whereas Pacey Weidman, he got bumped, spun out to bring a yellow. Now we see the trickiness of the Milwaukee Mile settle in. It's just so hard to pass cleanly here. I've often heard this track compared to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and frankly, apart from being a 1-mile oval, I don't see it. The banking is different, the layout of the oval is different, straights are much shorter. I think New Hampshire has more similarities with Martinsville than it does the Milwaukee Mile. You know, Milwaukee's corners are much wider and much more sweeping. That makes these little multi-lane battles so compelling as Austin Johnson nearly gets set for a ride. Snyder look for the inside. Johnson cut him off. Johnson looking to cut him off again. Contact into turn number 1. Both cars sliding up the racetrack. That's going to let Jimmy Mensch start to close in. And the fights continue to close on up as Johnson trying to tuck in behind Blaine Snyder. Snyder gets back through to 3rd. Making another quick dive down the inside, showing all that aggression. Oh, more contact between him and the 88. Boy, these 2 drivers just going at it right now. And it was just hit after hit after hit. And I think finally Johnson pulling away while Pelletier's Sharp went into the outside wall. And well, it looks like that battle going to be one that starts to drop off as Jimmy Medj not able to mount the same offensive. Nick Miller pulling a 2-second gap now over Lily Frazier, as he looks to run away with this one coming around into turn numbers 3 and 4. Martin Rober looking to claw his way back to the field as he's going to go to the inside of Scott McCann. While up the road, Wesley Triplett going to get behind Dominic Capilupo. Capilupo looking to fight back around the outside, while Triplett retains his real estate down low, and that's going to go nowhere. How about Roberg? Up to the field as Roberg going to get around Pacey Wychen. Good run for Roberg after he got absolutely cleaned out by Peyton Snyder just last week. Action that led to an indefinite suspension for the driver, the number 48. Roberg now looking to just run his own race. He's been running clean so far. 1 or 2 slides here and there. But Roberg could be looking to have himself with some good points on the day. And he's looking to get some more as he's going to take away 7th from Alex Ricky. Battle for number 2 is on as Frazier and Johnson so they'll fight it out down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. And this fight looks like it's going to be down for number 2. Whoa! Johnson! An aggressive look to the inside of Frazier. 2 wheels still in the grass. Tracks through and up, clears out of turn 4. Wow, that was impressive. They didn't both go spinning around right there. Very last minute launch. I have a feeling he maybe even overshot his braking point and didn't quite mean to do that. All the while, drivers like Scott McCann are still content in little battle clusters of their own. This track, one of the very few ones where drivers are not utilizing the 5th gear of the Gen 7 cars, which is not something you see all that often. Usually most tracks tend to be 5th gear racetracks. This one only using 4th and 3rd, much like a traditional stock car would from Gen 6 on back. Kind of makes this one of the more unique racetracks to be running around. And one you can tell that stock cars are not entirely poised to race at. Troy Washburn and Wesley Riddle going to exchange a couple of ducks among themselves in this little fight for 13th. And while this is all going on, Pacey watching a look at the inside of Alex Ricky, trying to secure 8th, and he will. Dominic Capilupo gets through as well. Wesley Triplett coming down pit road in the driver, the number 74. So yet another green flag stop underway. Got 25, coming to 24 laps on the boards. Right now in our longest green flag run of the race so far, and it's been a good one. Pacey Wygen still into some fire, though. He managed to get up to 8th, but he hasn't been able to get much further than that, and he's been constantly hounded by Capilupo McCann from behind, who have been making it rather difficult on him to kind of just run his own race and take it easy. Of course, today marks, in fact, not today. Oh, it is today. Today marks the halfway point in the regular series season. Our remaining 6 races are Michigan, Phoenix, Charlotte, Gateway, Las Vegas, and back to Daytona. The Michigan International Speedway next week going to play host to a 100-lapper for 200 miles. And then they'll kick off August on the 1st of the month down at the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, right before the All-Star race, taking place the day after at Bristol Motor Speedway. Coverage of the Bristol race, of course, tentative as it stands. We'll be here for Phoenix and every other race surrounding them. Alex Ricky has dropped off big time in his battle, and it looks like potentially may have had an issue here. Martin Roberry's into pit road, Blaine Snyder's into pit road. So green flag stops, looks like there'll be a factor. And man, Ricky way deep into turn 1 and up and into the wall. Boy, that's an unusual run for the 99. That has now put him at risk of being overtaken by Troy Washburn. All the while, man, Capilupo has been right there, but just has not been able to get around Wygen to the 00. Oh, he's going to get a chance here. Caution comes out. And it is for Blaine Snyder, who just came out of pit road. Well, this is going to settle any fuel strategy that may have been present. What the heck happened? So this is coming out of pit road here. Oh, has he lost it on cold tires? Oh, right there. Look at all those bumps. Just hooks the 88 around and hard into the outside wall. Sharp, and Mensch do a good job to get around it. But man, those bumps, those undulations, they will just pick the car up and spin you right around. Don't forget, of course, we're running with some active suspension here, and that suspension is no fan of those bumps in the racetrack. So take one more look here. And again, look at how the car is like bouncing up and down here as it goes around into turn numbers 3 and 4, almost bottoming the splitter out. And the back end just immediately swings on you. Well, this has brought a good, healthy handful of cars into pit road. Nick Miller, Lily Frazier, Elena Pelletier-Sharp, all on a two-tire strat. Austin Johnson, the first driver to take 4. And it's 4 all the way back to the field. So it's on. Nick Miller has been no stranger to using the chrome horn. And he's got quite a few drivers behind it that I'm sure are not too happy about it. And the general rule, if you can't take it, don't dish it. Nick Miller will have to watch his mirrors because he might get some unhappy company in the back 15. Working around turn numbers 3 and 4. It's going to be a fight to the end from here. 15 laps remain. Green flag is back into the air and racing action continues. Johnson immediately clears across the nose of Lily Frazier. A lot of the two-tire runners went up high. Nick Miller was not one of them. And Johnson now with nothing between himself and Miller as he tries to go 3 for 3. Oh, trouble and a big hit into the outside wall for Jimmy Mensch. Caution comes out immediately as the Ayers design number 94 is hard into the outside wall. And again, nothing between Miller and Johnson. Boy, that crash came out of left field for Jimmy Mensch. Take a jump back here. He's alongside Sharp. Watching behind, but none of them had anything to do with this. He lost the back end by himself. Spun, snapped in a big lick into the outside wall. Only one person you can blame for that one, and it is yourself. Caution is out once again. We'll take a jump back and be back with the final few laps in a moment. Green flag set to come out once again. It'll be a 10-lap dash to the finish. Miller in the lead. Johnson is outside. Frazier and Sharp third and fourth. 4 drivers, all very aggressive among them, looking to battle it out for the top spot. Pace car is into pit road. And it is now in the hands of Nick Miller. Restart comes at you. A mad dash to turn 1 as Nick Miller leads the way into the opening corner. Austin Johnson trying to go the long way, but he's got Lily Frazier down on his inside. Miller trying to use that to his advantage to keep second and third side by side, which would allow him to pull away, but it hasn't worked. Johnson is clear. And now looks to run down the 1 car, but now we got more problems! And Roberg up into the fence. No caution this time around. We'll keep it green. And Nick Miller continues to pull clear at the front. 3.5 tenths between Johnson and Nick Miller. And as has been demonstrated before, that is more than a time to run him down. But Troy Washburn will bring out the caution flag in turn 2. This is the initial incident of what happened to Roberg. Just a hit from behind by George Chiavelis while they were all going 3 wide. And then seconds later, Troy Washburn on the opposite end of the racetrack. Came down on the 23, or perhaps the 23 didn't turn in as much as he thought he would. And the 44 of Troy Washburn goes for a long slide, overcorrects, and he's going to nose it big time into the outside wall as well. Now, from that angle, it looks like Riddle didn't really turn in all that much like Washburn thought he might. Nick Miller again picking the inside lane for the restart. Austin Johnson going to go to his outside. Lily Frazier and Pacey Wyge will start third and fourth. Now remember, Wyge in the 0-0 was spun for the lead of the race by Nick Miller. Or sorry, by second place by Nick Miller. So Wyge and Miller have some history this race. Pace car will pull down, this time by 5 laps to go. Another caution flag will put this race into overtime. Green flag is back in the air. Nick Miller trying to pull away. Austin Johnson not letting the one run away. Oh my goodness gracious. Big lunges as Scott McCann went deep into turn number 2. Looking like they'll all gather it up, so Johnson at the head, trying to go after Nick Miller. Does he put the chrome horn to him? Tristan Bear, by the way, has been disqualified for hitting the incident limit. And through turn numbers 1 and 2, Nick Miller looking to fight back against Johnson. Trouble, turn 2, up into the wall is Casey Ellis. No caution, though. Will stay green. A big block on Pacey Wygen for Lily Frazier behind, but Wygen is through into third. Frazier looking to go for the over-under. Back around to turn numbers 3 and 4. Frazier up onto the podium. While the battle for third continues, we'll look up front to the lead. Austin Johnson is so close. He has gotten 2 back-to-back wins. He is looking to go 3 in a row. In his first 3 starts in the series as well, but a big bobble in turn 4 might do him in. Behind, Wygen and Pelletier sharp, side by side for the final podium position. Driving her in, deep into turn numbers 3 and 4. And we'll go for the white flag. 1 lap to go for the Milwaukee Mile. If Austin Johnson's going to have an answer, it is going to be coming in at the cost of Nick Miller's back bumper. Johnson down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. It will not be a hat trick as Miller off of 4 takes his first win of the season here in Wisconsin. A hard-fought fight to close out this race. And Nick Miller being given a bumper to and having some drivers pull up alongside. Blaine Snyder and Pacey Wygen, 2 drivers that Nick Miller got into earlier this race, potentially voicing some displeasure over this win tonight. While Nick Miller will take the race win here this afternoon from Milwaukee. Nick Miller burns it down here this afternoon, and we'll look to take a rundown of your official post-race results here this afternoon. A wild one from the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds as Nick Miller comes home number 1 ahead of Austin Johnson. Pacey Wygen will come home 3rd. We'll talk to all of them in just a moment. Elena Pelletier sharp back and forth. Dominic Capilupo in 5th. Frazier, Ricky, Snyder, Triplett, and Roberg will close out the top 10. From there, it's Scott McCann, Troy Washburn, Wesley Riddle, George Chapelis, Casey Ellis, and Jimmy Mensch finishing this race on the lead lap, with Sam Dooley finishing 12 down as the last car running. Tristan Bear, Lane Myers, John Matthew, Rodney Ayers, and Chris Chiampoulos all failing to finish racing action here tonight. Well, boy, a wild race that we had here this afternoon, and we'll look set to take a rundown of your official top 3 here and give a chit-chat to all the drivers that finished this race up and on the podium this afternoon. And we'll look to kick things off first and foremost with Nick Miller. As the driver, the number one, comes home number one this afternoon. Nick, your first win of the season. You become the, I believe, the 5th different race winner so far this season. It's got to feel good to be up on top this afternoon.
Yeah, very dominant performance today. This track's like a mini New Hampshire, and I like it a lot.
Well, you come home number one this afternoon, but it was not all smooth sailing. You had to punt 2 drivers out of the way to get the job done early in this race. Of course, with Pacey Wygen and Blaine Steiner, both drivers, I think potentially pulling alongside and maybe send some messages your way after that race as well. Was it ever a concern with them being in close proximity to the end that they might look to repay the favor?
I have to look back at it. I honestly thought that, like, Pacey, I thought I might have slid up on. I mean, he was on old tires, but I thought for Blaine, I thought I held the white line pretty well. I didn't think that I washed too high up. I felt like that was more so a racing incident than me just destroying him. I'm sure there could have been some payback if they got there, but luckily that didn't happen.
Well, looking forward, what's going to be the goals for the remainder of the season here for that number one?
Just showing up the races. I think I'm missing next week. I think I have work in the evening, so I should be at the following week.
All right, we'll wish you the best of luck when we return to racing action. In the meantime, congratulations on taking home number one, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Nick Miller comes home number one this afternoon. We'll let to talk to Austin Johnson, the driver that was trying to go for the hat trick. It was not meant to be this afternoon. Austin, half a second away from going 3 for 3 in your first 3 races. But hey, second place isn't bad at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this second place because in the beginning of the race, I don't even know if you saw me, to be honest. I was struggling in the back, trying to figure it out. Eventually I did. I don't know. I just started just like muscling it, trying to drive it as hard as I could. And I'm kind of stoked that I even got a chance to be in top 3 at all, to be honest. So hats off to Nick. He kind of, he was the whole like leader of the race, so he deserves the win. But I gave him my best there at the end.
Second place in your third start here, wins in the opening 2. Will it be back to victory lane for you again when we go racing next week in Michigan?
I mean, one can hope, right? That's all I can do.
Of course, the conditions throughout the opening few races here, they've been treacherous, to put it mildly. Things have shown a big improvement this week. Your thoughts on if you prefer those harder track conditions or if these similar ones are more suited to your style?
I think, I feel like the harder it is to drive, I guess maybe it's where my edge would be. Kind of like Homestead, it was a pretty slick, and I was able to pull away a little bit and find that edge better than some others. So here it was like the car was kind of tight. It would get loose. You would just have to drive it really hard to get loose. So I struggled a little bit today. I'm just kind of glad I got anywhere in the top 10, to be honest. So, but yeah, I think Michigan will be pretty fun. It'll be back to that loose style. So yeah.
All right, we'll be back with more racing action next week from the Great Lakes State. Congratulations on taking home number 1, and number 2, and we'll see you next week in Michigan.
All right, thank you.
Austin Johnson comes home second this afternoon, and we'll look to bring up Pacey Wygen now into who comes home third place here this afternoon. Pacey, a stage 1 win. Stage 2 went a little rougher, but you come home third to close out the night, so good points haul for you. Pacey, Nola Rempelpier, you're on the podium. Do you got us? Evidently, we do not. Sounds like we won't be able to get in touch with our third place runner here this afternoon. A big shame. Was hoping to kind of talk to him a bit more about what happened with Nick Miller earlier on in the race. But who knows what will happen in races beyond. Well, it's been a good run here this afternoon, and no doubt still plenty of racing action left to come here on Green Flag TV as we get set to pull things further and further out as the season goes along. When we return to Green Flag TV, it'll be with Derek Watson and George Kirafides tomorrow night as they'll go out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the S3 NAS Classic Series. Blazing Pedals ARCA Series alongside the For the Boys Racing League are out at Kansas and Auto Club, respectively, on Sunday night, with the High Tide Racing League Guardian Premier Series out for race 14 at Phoenix. OMSRO will be diving in next down to Iowa for round number 3, with the beer league out for round 2 at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for race number 2 of their championship come Wednesday. More action, of course, as always, for the Highline Diecast Collectible Speed Cup Series, as well as the Average Joe Simulator League on Thursdays, and then that'll take us all the way back through and around to Friday nights, where we are set to duke it all out again when we go race for 200 laps and 200 miles and 100 laps from Michigan International Speedway. If you want to find out more about who we are, what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. When we go racing next, it'll be kicking off the back half of the regular series season. And what a back half it is looking set to be if this first half was anything to go by. We'll see you all when we go racing next time on Green Flag TV.